let's take the teacher. If the teacher is unteachable himself and he refused to see that, the only solution for that would be teaching the teacher to become self-aware.
Yes. Yes, that's the only solution to this whole thing.
So what does the teacher do wrong? He's just teaching his stuff.
Yeah.
What's wrong about that?
Yeah, well, look, that's the whole thing. The essence, the only solution to this problem of the one eye is self-awareness and responsibility as a tool for growth. There is no sector that is busy with themselves. What is the teacher doing wrong? The whole education system is based on the other. The student is held accountable for the outcome of the process. For instance, teachers use grades, and those grades have equally amount of bearing on the teacher's ability to teach as the student's ability to learn. But the grade is used as a reflection of the student. Now, if teachers were to realize that their ability to teach is also represented in those numbers, those grades, they would have to also realize that perhaps a very, very high amount of teachers can't teach. You see? How can they realize this and fix this ability to this problem if they are always looking at the student?
As an outsider.
Yes.
You were telling me a story about a person that works for the tax office, and they usually would not sit with a client.
Right.
And then one day she decided to sit with him.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, she realized that there was a human being sitting in front of her. The story was that it's a man of 91, and she was confronted with this human being. Everything changed because she had to, in a way of speaking, see the human being behind the service. You see, and part of this process of self-awareness would actually make organizations and service deliverers step in the shoes of the client and realize that, because by doing that they would see themselves, and they would see that hospitals, banks, and schools are the least service client-oriented institutions on the planet. But all of these, the problem of service and client-centered orientedness, all of that comes back to this problem of self-awareness. All of that, because a bank would never realize that they are a huge part of the problem. They would not realize. They would be focused on the client, and they would not realize that they were, for instance, extremely corrupted themselves, or that they would not in any way be client-centered, because no institution feels that this is an area of importance, that is that they see themselves, and an external auditing or control instances will never get to the root of the problem. Never, until it's too late. Never. Because there is no way that they would even make it come anywhere near making institutions or persons aware of their shadow. The shadow being the real issues. You would get very socially desirable answers to inquiries, and the real issues wouldn't be anywhere near being registerable. If you see when governments get into major corruption, who has the power to correct the government? Who? You see, this is what we're talking about. And the government is themselves, the governments are themselves unaware. You see, this is the problem. And the cause, this is what I wanted to convey today also, is that why should I become extremely interested in understanding my own areas that I need to correct and bring into balance? Is because there is a high cost. And in the series of Anubis, the cost is that the shadow does not let itself be hidden forever. You see, this is very, very essential. What we talked about as being the compensation mechanism is a cosmic law that applies to everyone. You see, in those instances that create what I call private law and play with laws to benefit either themselves or little interest groups, which is what to a large extent the law has become, are not exempt to this law.
It's a universal law.
It's a universal law, and it works in terms of compensatory effects. And if you, it's my belief that 90% of disease is the compensation law, and 90% of diseases are chronic diseases are actually not diseases. They're signals of imbalance which we are not listening to. We have a system, both medical and judicial, to cover up these signals of imbalance. But these signals are this compensatory effect is, you cannot stop it. And the more we as a one-eyed species insulate ourselves against these signals, be it as an individual, as a group, as a nation, as a whole world, the stronger they are going to become. And the bigger, because these are the signals that we are out of balance. And everybody needs to get this.
Right, like with the student-teacher relationship, you would get that the class would get bad grades, and then you would get a high dropout rate, and then they still blame it on the students.
Yes, while it's the teachers that can't teach. And then what we do?
They keep doing the same thing.
And they keep hiring the standards for the students, and they keep making it more selective and more but they never come anywhere near realizing that perhaps I am not able to